There's a special kind of madness that comes with having a favorite Space Marine Legion. Not because they're 8-foot tall death machines built to wage eternal war, but because the Legion you love says way too much about you. You like the World Eaters? Great, I'm hiding everything even remotely sharp. Blood Angels? You're a tragic art major with a bloodlust problem. And if you like the Iron Hands, well, you don't. That's kind of the point.
Shut the fuck up! Know your fucking place, trash!
So today, we're doing something dangerous, something chaotic, something that's basically a war crime in the Warhammer fandom. Because someone will be in the comments screaming, "Actually," with citations. Welcome back to A Falling Cow, the sacred barnyard where we discuss Warhammer 40K in the silliest way possible. Today, we're diving into what your favorite Space Marine Legion says about you. Not the chapter, the original legions from back in the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy days. Back when the Space Marines were hundreds of thousands strong, had daddy issues the size of the Eye of Terror, and thought diplomacy meant orbital bombardments and genocide. We're going in number order from the brooding Knights of Caliban all the way to the gaslighting Chaos Lizards of the Alpha Legion. This is about fun, judgment, and roasting your personality based on your favorite collection of genetically engineered super soldiers. Lore will be included, feelings will be hurt. Let's begin. You like the Dark Angels? Cool. You've got trust issues so severe, you probably password protected your fridge. These guys are all about secrets, like Inquisition level secrets. They spent 10,000 years chasing their own fallen brothers and still won't explain why. Loyalist, traitor, a cult-like obsession with plasma guns? Oh yes. If this is your favorite legion, you're probably suspicious of everyone, including your toaster, emotionally unavailable, and very possibly 3 goblins in a trench coat trying to file taxes.
I'm going to buy a car today.
Your Primarch, Lionel Johnson, just woke up after 10,000 years, took one look around, and started forgiving the fallen like he's running a group therapy session for traitors. You didn't pick the Dark Angels because they're noble, you picked them because you're hiding something and we'll never find out what. Ah yes, the legendary Second Legion. The Legion so mysterious, even the Emperor was like, "Nah fam, delete that." If this is your favorite, you're either a lore goblin with a conspiracy wall that has a string connecting Malkador to Alfarius to Bigfoot, a fan of build your own headcanon like it's an emotional IKEA, or you just want to feel special because your Legion technically doesn't exist. Liking the Second Legion is like saying your favorite Star Wars character is the one who's only mentioned in the footnotes of an ancient Jedi text document. There's no Primarch, no official colors, no known battles, just vague implications and the crushing weight of your own imagination. You didn't pick a Legion, you picked an absence, and now you get to pretend it's deep. If the Emperor's Children are your favorite Legion, then you're not looking for a fight. You're looking for a psychedelic orgy of violence, a lot of noise, and heinous amounts of drugs. These guys started off as the poshiest perfectionists in the galaxy. Immaculate armor, perfectly aligned bolters, and probably corrected the Emperor's grammar and called it duty. Then their Primarch Fulgrim picked up a sword, with a demon in it. Next thing you know, they're asking, what if we snorted the warp and called it personal growth? You're into killing people with screaming guitar guns and going on 3-day ketamine benders across 12 dimensions. The Emperor's Children battle plans involve doing so much warp coke, they forgot how pain works. The elite among them are Noise Marines, who fire literal weaponized dubstep while high on warp meth, crack, and ketamine smoothies. Fulgrim started as a fabulous golden boy and is now a screeching demon snake and loves to get pegged by Nakari. I'm not even lying, guys. Go read Slaves to Darkness. It's graphic. You didn't pick the Emperor's Children for discipline or honor. You picked them because you want your Warhammer with rhinestones, EDM, and a war crime-induced ego death. If your favorite legion is the Iron Warriors, then I have some bad news for you. You are a loser.
We're calling you out!
Guys! Hey guys! We got some mind losers out here!
A bitter siege-obsessed calculator-wielding crybaby who thinks emotional repression is a personality trait. These guys are the grumpiest demolition experts in the galaxy. They don't fight wars, they build Excel spreadsheets out of blood, turn planets into bunkers, and complain the whole time. Their idea of fun is a 12-hour PowerPoint on concrete stress tolerances. You probably start arguments in the comment sections and then get mad when no one agrees. You think listening to industrial noise counts as a hobby and collect petty grudges like they're Pokemon. The Iron Warriors specialize in trench warfare and spite. Their entire existence is fueled by the phrase, "No one appreciates me." Perturabo, their Primarch, is basically a walking Reddit post, a siege genius with the social skills of a brick wall. He built the Iron Cage not to win, but to emotionally scar Rogel Dorn. You didn't pick the Iron Warriors because they're cool, you picked them because you love being angry, unappreciated, and somehow always the victim. Even when you're literally launching orbital bombardments at first graders. If your favorite legion is the White Scars, then all I have to say is... Wait, I mean... Because you like going Lightning McQueen fast. Fast enough to outrun your problems, your enemies, and probably your taxes. The White Scars are the Imperium's high-octane, speed demon biker gang, who looked at the Codex Astartes and said, cool, but what if we shredded it at 300 miles per hour? While Tokyo drifting a jet bike through enemy lines. You probably have tried and failed to Tokyo drift in a shopping cart, constantly make roast jokes no one is ready for, and have deep thoughts that only hit you while doing 90 on the freeway at night. These guys aren't just fast, they're scary fast. The only thing they like more than a hit and run assault is roasting Fulgrim's entire life aesthetic while doing it at Mach 3. Jagatai Khan, their Primarch, is the chillest, most underrated guy in the galaxy. He's a poet, a philosopher, and a lunatic with a sword who once insulted a flying piece of shit and then sliced his head clean off. He's basically what would happen if your cool uncle was also a demigod warlord with a warp bike. You didn't pick the White Scars for subtlety or elegance, you picked them because you live for the rush, love a good roast, and fully believe that every battlefield could use some more tire tracks and sarcasm. If your favorite legion is the Space Wolves, then I regret to inform you that you are in fact a furry. No, don't try to deny it. I see the wolf tail hanging off your backpack. I know you've argued online that it's culturally significant. Sure, buddy. And I bet your Primarch isn't just a walking keg of daddy issues with a fur fetish. The Space Wolves are what happens when Norse mythology, moonshine, and a hot topic clearance sale get thrown in a blender and launched into space. They're brutal, savage, and somehow constantly drunk, even though Astartes aren't supposed to get drunk. You probably howl when you score in video games, unironically, have a tattoo idea involving ruins or axes, and have posted Lehman Russ did nothing wrong at least once a month. They pretend to be all about honor and nobility, but let's be real. They just love fighting, chugging Fenrisian ale, and growling at librarians. These guys managed to destroy a loyalist legion, the 1,000 Sons, and their own legion during the Horus Heresy. Real smart guys. Lehman Russ, their Primarch, is a giant golden retriever with anger issues. He acts like he's the Emperor's enforcer, but really he's just a glorified attack dog with a cool haircut and a big axe. You didn't pick the Space Wolves because of their tactics or strategy, you picked them because deep down, you want to drink moonshine, wear fur, and pretend you don't have a folder named Tasteful Werewolf Art. Yikes. If your favorite legion is the Imperial Fists, then you are, and let me be very clear, completely correct. No bias, no propaganda, just facts, walls, and an overwhelming fear of emotional vulnerability. You probably alphabetize your miniatures, get genuinely excited about concrete curing times, and believe that suffering builds character, especially if it involves building a fortress at the same time. These guys are the golden standard. Literally, they're yellow. They built the Imperial Palace, held off the traitors during the Siege of Terra, and didn't write a single sad diary entry about it like the Iron Warriors, who, let's be honest, are just Imperial Fists, but with abandonment issues and none of the charm. Yeah, screw you Birdie, you bald loser. The Imperial Fists are what happens when you take military discipline, turn the dial to 11, and then remove the ability to have fun. They don't need flair, they've got precision, walls, and an ungodly tolerance for pain. And then there's Rogel Dorn, their Primarch, my king, their brick with a battle plan. This man is like a human tape measure, rigid, calculated, and painfully uninterested in your feelings. He's the only Primarch who would rather disassemble a cathedral and rebuild it more symmetrically than go to therapy. He's not broken, he's perfectly structured like a spreadsheet with a chainsword. You didn't pick the Fist to be flashy, you picked them because duty is everything, walls don't build themselves, and someone has to hold the line while the galaxy throws tantrums. If your favorite legion is the Night Lords, then congratulations. You're probably in a heated argument with yourself in the mirror right now, and somehow you're losing. You didn't choose the Night Lords because you like war, you chose them because you like screams, capes,
Snagged on a missile. Cape caught in a jet turbine. Elevator. Diner guy. Snag on takeoff. Splashdown. Sucked into a vortex.
and flaying people alive as a hobby.
Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared.
Your brain runs entirely on paranoia, trauma, and a playlist titled Ambient Screeching in E minor. And let's talk about Konrad Curze, their Primarch. A man so mentally unstable, he made Batman look like a well-adjusted PTA dad. This guy was raised in a murder city and thought the best way to instill order was to nail your grandma to the ceiling as a warning to pay her taxes. Let's be honest, you've definitely said I am the knight, unironically, and somewhere Konrad Curze is nodding his head while creating his next poop statue of the Emperor. If your favorite legion is the Blood Angels, then you don't just like war, you like aesthetic war. You looked at the grimdark galaxy and thought, this needs more stained glass and emotional trauma. You picked the Blood Angels because you're drawn to three things: tragic beauty, unstoppable fury, and a Primarch who looked like an angel and punches like a freight train. Yes, Sanguinius, the beautiful Hawkboy himself. He didn't walk, he floated majestically into your heart and became your favorite thing about the grim darkness of the far future. But when he died, your entire personality collapsed like the Eternity Wall during the Siege of Terra. You don't care that the Blood Angels randomly go feral and tear out people's throats mid-battle, that's just drama. Yes, they have fangs, yes, they drink blood, but you'd rather call them emotionally tormented post-human nobles with a flair for the theatrical. And you've probably described something in Warhammer as hauntingly beautiful with a straight face. Liking the Blood Angels means you want to look fabulous while committing atrocities, and you kinda do. Covered in blood, crying under stained glass windows, reading poetry in between chainsawing heretics. If you picked the Iron Hands as your favorite legion, then congratulations, you're obsessed with cutting off your own body parts. Like, not because they're broken, but because you know a servo arm would do the job better. Your motto is basically, flesh is weak, so I'm gonna chop it off and replace it with cold hard metal. And why the hell wouldn't you? Your dad, yeah, your Primarch Ferrus Manus, went out for some milk and never came back. Well, actually, he got his head chopped off by Fulgrim during the Dropside Massacre. Talk about a hostile family reunion. Since then, your entire legion has been stuck in a permanent rage mode, trying to out-robot each other. Feelings? Nah, just cold steel and a crippling fear of having flesh. You probably have a spreadsheet tracking which body parts you replaced and which ones you're planning to replace next. And you definitely judge people for having too much skin. If you're an Iron Hands fan, you probably think feelings are just inefficient code waiting to be deleted, and you're one emotional breakdown away from replacing your heart with a gearbox out of spite. If you pick the other Redacted Legion, then you're just weird, like confusingly weird. Nobody really knows what's going on, not even the Emperor. You're the kind of person who just shows up to the party, and everyone's like, wait, who invited you again? And you just smile mysteriously and say, I'm the secret ingredient. And everyone just stares at you like you're a homeless man who's done too much crack. If your favorite legion is the World Eaters, then you're basically a roided out screaming lunatic who's probably a schizophrenic and thinks subtlety is a foreign language. Your spirit animal, Angron, Primarch of the World Eaters, who is a black rod wielding, bloodthirsty psycho who screams so loud he's probably ruptured a few eardrums in the warp. This guy doesn't chill. His name is literally Angron. His hobby is turning entire planets into red mist. If this is your favorite legion, you wake up every day wondering, how many faces can I rip off before breakfast? Should I do it with my bare hands or a chain axe today? Your personal mantra is basically a non-stop scream of,
Blood for the blood god! Blood for the blood god! Blood for the blood god!
and if you're not yelling it, are you even alive? You're also definitely the kind of person who's schizophrenic, but instead of quiet voices, you've got at least 5 screaming at once, all demanding more blood, more pain, and more chaos. It's like an eternal mosh pit, but with more teeth flying. Strategy? Diplomacy? Quiet? Yeah, you left those back on some other rock while you were busy shredding skulls and gutting anyone who looked at you funny. If the World Eaters are your favorite legion, you're not just a hot mess, you're a full-blown chain axe revving hooligan fueled by caffeine, bloodlust, and unresolved anger issues. You're not here to win battles, you're here to make sure no one leaves with all their limbs. If your favorite legion is the Ultramarines, you love rules. Like a lot. You're the kind of person who reads the instruction manual before assembling IKEA furniture and then judges everyone else for skipping steps. You probably have a color-coded Excel spreadsheet for your weekly schedule, and every time you see someone struggling with a calendar, you're there trying to get them onto Microsoft 365 like it's the second coming of Rebute Girly Man. Discipline? Check. Order? Double check. Being the best? Well, that's just what you do. Your Primarch, Rebute Girly Man, is basically that super organized kid who got a PhD in Microsoft Office. He's the galaxy's biggest fan of bureaucracy. His battle plan probably involves a 400-page PowerPoint presentation with bullet points, footnotes, and several pivot tables. If you pick the Ultramarines, you're that guy who rolls into the party with a checklist, a helmet polished to mirror shine, and a PowerPoint presentation about why everyone should love the Codex Astartes. You might even have a ritual for how to hold a coffee mug. But hey, no shame, you're the galaxy's go-to captain, the master tactician, and totally the dad friend everyone needs. Also, full disclosure, you probably low-key think all the other legions are just messy losers. But hey, in your completely unbiased opinion, you're the best. And your Primarch Gilliman would agree. If the Death Guard is your favorite legion, then you, my friend, have fully embraced the fine art of stench. You don't just reek a little, you smell like a biohazard zone that hasn't seen soap or water since the Horus heresy. Showers, please. That's for weaklings who don't understand the true power of plague-infested funk. Your presence alone probably causes people to clutch their noses and make a beeline for the nearest airlock.
I guess I'm gonna be.
You're the kind of person who turns every room into a toxic wasteland, spreading disease, decay, and the unmistakable scent of death and despair like it's your personal brand. Your Primarch Mortarion is basically a massive piece of shit who's been blessed by Nurgle with unholy resistance to all things clean. He's the guy who probably laughs at you for even thinking about bathing, and instead spends his days hugging rotten trees and whispering sweet nothings to his collection of diseases. If you pick the Death Guard, you're slow, relentless, and absolutely unstoppable. Like a moldy juggernaut barreling through the galaxy with spores and pestilence trailing behind you like a toxic fashion statement. You love spreading misery with a side of fungal infections and a sprinkle of hopelessness. Basically, you're the champion of rotting, the king of plague, and the living embodiment of you should really open a window. And if you don't own at least one plague-related meme or joke about your stench, are you really even a Death Guard fan? If the 1,000 Suns are your favorite legion, then you've accepted the ultimate truth of Warhammer 40K. Magnus did nothing wrong. Say it with me, guys, say it louder, carve it on your arm, tattoo it on your soul. It's your whole personality now. You picked the faction of robed up wizard jocks who thought reading books and being smart was the solution to everything. And honestly, respect. But also, this legion is Nerd City. Everyone here has at least 5 PhDs, speaks in riddles, and thinks that setting people on fire with their minds is just casual foreplay. Your Primarch is basically a glowing red trauma ball who tried to call dad once and shattered reality. And yet, you'll still defend him harder than a lore YouTuber defends the Horus heresy pacing. He was just trying to help, you cry, as you summon a warp rift and turn 3 people into dust. So, if this is your favorite legion, congrats, you're in a cult of tragic flaming bookworms who think they're smarter than everyone else. And honestly, you probably are, but you also like a legion that turned to chaos because someone banned reading in school. So you kinda suck too. But hey guys, say it with me. Magnus did nothing wrong. Lehman Russ, go eat a banana, you frickin' furry. The Sons of Horus, formerly the Luna Wolves, but then Daddy got promoted to War Master and had to rebrand like a midlife crisis with power armor. If this is your favorite legion, then you're a fan of glory days, war crimes, and catastrophic betrayal on a galactic scale. You probably unironically think Horus was right, and you say for the War Master like it's a cool catchphrase and not the battle cry that jump-started 10,000 years of grim dark nonsense. Horus stands are a special breed. You love charisma, power, and watching it unravel like a Reddit thread gone nuclear. Your Primarch is a textbook definition of he had so much potential, but instead of becoming Space Emperor 2.0, he got talked into cosmic treason by a bald-headed fuck with a soft sales pitch. If you like the Sons of Horus, you probably describe yourself as a natural leader, but everyone else sees you as that one guy in the friend group who turns evil in the second act. You romanticize the fall, love tragic villains, and deep down inside, you're just here for the drama. And don't lie, you miss the Luna Wolves aesthetic. You only tolerate the green armor because you're still emotionally stuck in Horus Rising like the rest of us. In short, you're here for betrayal, brotherhood, and becoming a corrupted frat brother, and I respect it. If your favorite legion is the Word Bearers, I have a question for you. What went so catastrophically wrong in your life that your role model is Lorgar? This is a legion of bad vibes. You like sermons, sacrifices, and turning the entire galaxy into a Sunday school for demons. Your whole thing is being really into religion, but like the evil galaxy destroying, everyone screaming kind of religion. And Lorgar, oh boy, your Primarch is a soft-spoken nerd who got friend-zoned by the Emperor, threw a tantrum, and then proceeded to worship the 4 degenerates in the warp. He's the kind of guy who listens to Gregorian chants in the gym, and then monologues at you for 3 hours after casting Summon Greater Demon in your kitchen. If you're into the Word Bearers, you probably think you're deep, mysterious, and spiritual, but in reality, you're just an edgelord with a chaos icon tattooed on your soul, and the overwhelming urge to write a fanfiction where the Emperor apologizes to your boy, Lorgar. Also, you literally started the Horus heresy, and it's all your fault. I hope you're happy. So if this is your legion, congrats, you're in the cult that makes everything insufferable. Just don't hand me another damn pamphlet. If the Salamanders are your favorite legion, then you're built different. You're probably the nicest guy in the torture dungeon, the kind of person who will incinerate your enemy with a flamethrower, then make sure their orphans get proper housing and a warm meal. This legion is all about two things: flamethrowers and protecting civilians. Unless those civilians are Eldar, in which case they're getting turned into extra crispy Xeno kebabs. Now, let's talk Vulcan, your big green dad. He's a perpetual, he's impossible to kill, and during the Horus heresy, he was, kinda present? But let's be real, Vulcan spent most of the heresy getting yeeted across time, space, and trauma like the galaxy's most unlucky potato. But even when he's MIA, we all still love him, because he's basically Warhammer Santa Claus with a forge and a lot of trauma. Also, let's be honest, you've definitely painted your miniatures with an extra lava effect because deep down, you just want to watch the world burn nicely. In summary, if you're a Salamanders fan, you're one of the good ones. Now grab your melt-a-gun, give a thumbs up to the nearest orphan, and light up some Eldar King. If the Raven Guard are your favorite legion, then you're 90% black eyeliner, 10% bird metaphors, and 100% not invited to the party. You like your armor like you like your soul, pitch black and covered in feathers. This is straight up the emo legion. Their Primarch, Corvus Corax, looks like he's genetically engineered by Hot Topic. If you're a fan of the Raven Guard, you're the kind of person who listens to My Chemical Romance while infiltrating enemy fortresses. You believe in freedom, stealth ops, and probably think Batman would be cooler if he dual-wielded bolters and screamed about genetic atrocities. Your favorite hobby? Disappearing dramatically mid-conversation. Your least favorite thing? Being noticed. Or winning a fight without half your legion getting absolutely obliterated. If the Raven Guard are your favorite, you're loyal, haunted, and probably perched on a rooftop right now, thinking about vengeance, war crimes, and that one time Lorgar made eye contact with you for too long. Feathers out, pain in, Bird Boy gang for life. If the Alpha Legion is your favorite, congratulations, you're playing Warhammer 40K on hard mode with the monitor off, blindfolded, and underwater. You pick the Legion where no one knows what's going on, including yourself. Following Alpha Legion lore is like playing a game of Clue, but someone swapped out all the cards, lost the dice, and set the board on fire, and you're still confidently saying, it was Omegon in the library with the plasma gun. Spoiler, it was you the whole time, most likely. This is the faction where everyone's Alpharius, including you, even if you're not, especially if you're not. Their loyalty, classified, their objectives, classified, their Primarchs, 2 of them. Because why not give the most secretive legion an extra twin just to gaslight people into insanity? You don't want to win the war, you want to say it was all according to plan as everything explodes around you and your friends cry. In summary, you think subtlety is sexy, facts are optional, and the greatest victory is making sure no one, not even the riders, knows what side you're actually on. You are Alpharius, or maybe you're not, but you'll never truly know. And there you have it. All 20 Space Marine legions, judged, roasted, and bullied in the name of the Emperor, or Chaos, or Excel spreadsheets? Depending on your preference. Remember, if you felt personally attacked at any point in this video, good. That means I got your legion right. Whether you're a ketamine-fueled noise gremlin, or a rotting Nurgle swamp ghoul, just know this, your legion choice says a lot about you, and none of it is good. But I still respect it, mostly. Well, kind of. Honestly, not really. If you enjoyed this descent into the warp that is my brain, make sure to leave a comment telling me your favorite legion and why you think they're not absolute trash. I will of course reply by gaslighting you and declaring that I am Alpharius. Well heard, that's it for this time. Stay milked, I'll see you in the next video.